has arrived. The son of a dream looking to realize his destiny in WWE. Multiple tag team and intercontinental championship reigns during his first run here in WWE. But now that the prodigal son has returned, Cody Rhodes has reached main event status.
Konnichiwa, minasan. I'm Great Oka Unite Empire. 今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるってよ。みんなブローキンテーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas, here as always with our reigning, defending, Broken Predictions champion, King Rome. How you doing tonight, man?
You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I would describe myself as a little overwhelmed, actually.
Tonight was a great night for a Philadelphia fan. That Phillies game had multiple storylines like within itself.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, just to briefly get into it. I mean, obviously Wilson, the rookie getting called up to the big leagues, first big league game, first at bat, first hit being the home run, dad there crying. Of course, I'm getting teared up.
Oh, dude.
The Phillies are winning, very handily by the time Dynamite starts. So, I tune out. It was like the fifth inning, start watching Dynamite. And like I look down at my phone, 20 minutes into Dynamite, and they're like, "Oh, Lorenzen, the pitcher, who recently acquired from the Tigers, his first start in Philadelphia. He's working his way up to throw a no-hitter." In today's baseball, no-hitters don't really happen that much anyways because pitchers only go so far.
Yeah.
They usually pull them by like the 7th, 8th inning. Like it's very rare for a pitcher to go the distance in today's
100 or so
baseball.
pitches.
Yeah. But they're like, oh, he's in the 6th inning and he hasn't the no hitter so far in the 6th.
Let him go.
Or 7th, I think. Tune back in on my phone while Dynamite's on. Get to the 8th inning, and like they send him back out there, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, So he throws a no hitter, emotional as hell. 14th time in Phillies history, 2nd time Citizens Bank Park, 124 pitches. And then I'm watching Dynamite at the same time, and I'm getting emotional after around Dynamite. So, so in a good way.
Yeah.
Very overwhelming night for me. But in the best possible kind of way.
Yeah, this was a good night here. AEW Dynamite coming to us from the Nationwide Center in Columbus, Ohio. One of our regulars' backyards. That'd be Ed. Let's go to the chat here real quick. We got Michael Duke. We got the Day Trading Doge. We got Coach Nick. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight? Thank you guys for joining us here. I thought this was a decent episode of Dynamite. This wasn't one of their best episodes of all time, but it surely wasn't anything, it wasn't anything bad. I 7 out of 10. What would you say?
I would say there was a lot to like.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot to like on tonight's Dynamite. Some little nitpicks, some little issues. But, I mean, for me, I think if you look at the broad strokes of the episode, just the bold points. I think that the show did everything it was supposed to and was a great show.
Absolutely. And, you know, for the second week in a row, we have Hikaru Shida main eventing AEW Dynamite. Absolutely love that. You know, I'm pretty sure you said she's your favorite in the women's division.
Yep. And again, like that was why I would say like it was it was an overwhelming night for me as a fan, because not only am I screaming and jumping out of my chair watching the Phillies, but then I go and like, you know, Sheeta, it's an emotional night for Sheeta and like her fans as well, because she, you know, the first title reign was during the pandemic. She carried the division through the pandemic and she didn't get that title reign in front of the fans. This was her first title defense in front of fans.
Absolutely.
It was all in all a beautiful night for her as well. She is the first woman in AEW history to main event 2 weeks in a row. First world champion, women's world champion as well, obviously. And now, you know, just the thought, knowing that she's going to defend the title at Wembley, like again, your boy's having an emotional night over here for sure.
Yeah, it was great. Oh, we got the Coog joining in. What's up, Coog? Says he's personally loving the Lucha Brothers BCC storyline. Yeah, me too, man. I'm hoping Phoenix didn't hurt his knee there for real. You know, didn't seem like a reason to sell the knee at that moment, but we'll see. Seemed to be fine at the end. But let's go ahead and get into it here tonight for the Dynamite review. We started off with the Jericho Appreciation Society's mandatory meeting. We started off with everybody already in the ring except for Chris Jericho. It was the entire JAS. And they call Jericho out. He does his normal entrance with his music. And I didn't expect him to say, you know, oh, good job, guys. You all came out here without telling me by yourselves. Okay, you know, blah, blah, blah. But they tell Jericho to basically shut up for a minute. And one by one, every single person in the JAS cuts a promo on Jericho. Some of them longer than they may have needed to be. This ran about 10 minutes, maybe 11. I felt it went a minute or so too long, but I felt like it was kind of justified after so long of having the JAS here. What's your opinion on this segment here?
I think that the people that have an issue with it going too long, I understand, but at the same time, I think it's warranted. Not just like you said, the history of the JAS, but the Inner Circle kind of turned into the JAS. So this is kind of like an ongoing since day one AEW thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, number one, I think it definitely has deserved the right to have a 12-minute promo set in like in-ring segment. People act like this is the first time the JS has done a 10+ minute in-ring segment. It's not. And you know, looking back on it and watching it, I also disagree with people complaining about the length of it, because I wouldn't have cut anything there. I mean, like, I think that almost every member of the JS, maybe outside of like Jake and like even Ty's at the end, kind of like Ty was kind of like iffy, but she really brought it home at the end of hers.
Yeah.
But it made a lot of sense for everybody to get their moment. If we had rushed this through in 4 or 5 minutes, like this segment would have sucked. Like,
I can agree with that.
If Sammy took the mic and was like, "We all have issues with you, Chris. We're leaving." It's like this was way more impactful and had way more weight to it. So, I mean, look, I'm cool with it. It went like 12 minutes. It was fun. It was good. I really liked it. I really liked certain promos. Again, it made sense for you to go through each person. Garcia getting to say like, "I betrayed my heroes for you."
Yeah.
Like just going through
Sammy's
it. Like,
was actually my favorite. The way Sammy was like, "I'm not going to walk out on you, Chris," because everybody else at this point had literally walked out. And Sammy's like, "I'm not going to walk out on you, Chris." He's like, "But I am going to tell you to you need to figure it out, you know, and if you don't come to the right conclusion, you know, I'm not going to be there for you."
Yeah, and I think it sets the stakes for Jericho's announcement next, because like I don't think Jericho abandons the JAS. I don't think that's what happened. I think this is going to be the time where Jericho's like, "No, these are my guys. I'm sticking with them." And again, it's just you go through everybody's promos, and it's all about how we would do anything for you. We thought that you would do the same. You know, Angelo Parker's like, "I got nothing left to give." Menard's talking about how he was his childhood hero. You know, and I just thought everyone was great. And even Anna Jay and Ty. Anna Jay saying like, I'm going to be selfish for once, and usually it's all about you, Chris, but tonight it's all about me. I have a shot tonight, and I'm going to take that shot.
Yeah.
Ty getting emotional, saying like, I don't need you. I'm gonna have this baby and then come back next year and be a champion. And I don't do it without you. And again, like just going through it. I mean, could you have cut this down by 6 minutes? I guess.
I
But
would have
why
only cut
would-
like a minute, if that.
No, I know, but again, like I do know that some people were upset with the length in general, and I don't know what you cut here and make it stay as good as it is. So
I can agree
I
with
don't
that. But I thought this was pretty good, actually. You know, I just wrote 10 minutes was a bit long, but I think it was warranted, just like you said. You know what I mean? So we go to commercial, we come back, and it's Jericho with Renee Paquette, and Callis is with him, and he apologizes to Jericho. He's like, "Listen, man, if any of this is my fault, I am really sorry. You know, sorry about that." And Jericho tells him, "Listen, I'm gonna make my decision. We'll announce it next week." So Callis says he'll get the preparations going, and you know we'll see where that goes. It's still 50-50 for me. I don't know what Jericho's gonna choose. He could choose his friends here, or he could choose Callis. Either way.
Well, I think that Jericho is going to side with JS. That would be my guess.
I would hope so, but we'll see where it goes.
It just seems like that's where it's going. I mean, I don't know. I think that they're leaning really heavily into the fact that Jericho is going to, which makes me think he won't.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point.
Plus Sammy at the end. The Sammy at the end part's kind of like, okay, so Sammy is keeping the door open slightly for him. So
All right. Well, next up was the Young Bucks versus the Hardys, and the Young Bucks are back with the Super Kick Party, the song. Absolutely love the Young Bucks. You know their theme music. I'm glad it's not the Carry On My Wayward Son. It was getting a little bit old for me, but not like where it was running
never.
its course or anything. I was just kind of like, man, I want the old Elite song back, you know. But
No, Carry On My Wayward Son is perfect for the Elite when they come out as a group. It is.
it's all right.
That's a home. It's a home run. You need to stop. You need to stop.
All
Look,
right.
I like the Elite. I like the Elite theme song as much as the next guy, but like that song doesn't hit the way "Carry On My Wayward Son." Like
I know what you mean, man, but I like, you know, I like hearing even the elite. I miss that too, you know.
that's why you watch BTE because it's on
Yeah,
there.
I know. But this match was way better than I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. I didn't expect Jeff Hardy to get that boost of speed back. Jeff Hardy looked actually really, really good here. I was very surprised. Jeff got a huge boost of speed back from God knows where, and he looked great. There was a spot early on in the match that I wanted to ask you about here, where Matt Hardy did a roll up after tagging Jeff in, and Jeff did, you know, his sit down pin. Rick Knox immediately just goes down for the count. Do you think he should have allowed the double pin there in this match?
So I only caught like a split second in this because I was looking at my phone at this particular spot.
Yeah.
Because I was watching the Phillies game too. Again, a disclaimer for this match, and I did pause the Jack Perry RVD match because I did not want to be distracted during that. But during this match was the biggest casualty of the night for me because I was kind of up down between screens. I saw like the tail end of this. Is it like so? My question is it possible that Rick just didn't see it? Because we know that historically, and this isn't a company exclusive thing, wrestling referees have the worst tunnel vision of all time.
Yeah.
So is it possible and explainable just to say that Rick Knox did not notice that Matt was grabbing his shoulders?
So that's what I was going to suggest here, but Rick Knox literally looked over at Matt before he dropped down. He looked over at him like almost like dramatically and then dropped down to do the count. And I was kind of like, dude.
I mean,
what I was thinking is in kayfabe, we've always thought of Rick Knox as kind of like the Bucks have him in their back pocket, you know what I mean? But he's never really done anything to show it. This seemed like a little subtle first you know.
So, is there, and I'm just speculating because I'm racking my brain from past experiences. Is there like a kayfabe rule that says that the ref can't count the pin when the other guy is in the ring? I mean, like, I'm not being facetious. I'm
No, yeah,
legitimately
I
trying to
thought the
think
same
back.
thing when I saw people complaining about it. I was like, is there really a rule? And I was like, there probably is, but I'm just gonna, I'm just
No,
not
I mean,
gonna.
like, I'm sitting here trying to think, and like, I don't think it is technically an illegal pin. I mean,
You
maybe I'm
see it
also
all the
kind of
time.
lumping. Maybe I'm just also kind of lumping like my like when I used to watch Fed, but I'm sure I've seen pinfalls happen where it was like a tag team. Yeah, like I
Or
don't
they
know. I
like
guess
push
it's
each
the
other's
release that's
shoulder
different.
down or something. I see it all the time. It's just I can understand how someone would have had a problem with it, but it wouldn't have ruined the match for me by any means. You know what I mean?
I just don't think it's a lapse in the rules of the match. Like unless again, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not remembering something specific. Like yes, the there is a time limit for which the illegal man is allowed to be in the ring.
Yeah.
But if there's a pinfall and you're the referee, I think you would just count the pinfall. I mean, we've seen it happen before where like
There's a good
FTR will
point.
hit the shatter machine and then Dax goes for the pin and Cash is still in the ring standing there. I mean, the referee doesn't not count the pin because the illegal man's in the ring.
I like
So
that.
I
That's a
don't
good point.
no, yeah, I'm just trying to rack my brain. Like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and there's something that contradicts it, and then it doesn't make sense, then I'll knock it. But I'm trying to look at the like thinking back and remembering. I don't recall there ever being a time where a referee was like, "Hey, get off him. He's the only one that can like." Yes, the illegal man can't be the only one pinning him, but why can't the illegal man assist his legal partner in the pin? I don't see a
Yeah.
problem. Like
I don't
I
know.
just I just don't. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Call me a mark. I don't know. I don't see a
But
problem.
otherwise, this was a good match, man. The Hardys look great. The Bucks always look great. Um, Huge swanton bomb onto I think it was to Nick Jackson. Only gets a 2 count. BTE trigger eventually to Matt Hardy gets the win for the Bucks for the 1-2-3. Nick immediately gets on the mic and he says, I guess you could say, I wanted to say one word, but guess it's just 3 letters. He says FTR, and Nick calls out FTR. Their music starts playing immediately, and we get FTR going face to face with the Bucks. And it looks like FTR and the Young Bucks are going to be facing each other at All In for the World Tag Team Championships, man. How you feeling?
Look, there was some discourse in the Discord this past week. A lack of excitement for All In, right? And
I'm in.
I'm not here to say that like people aren't entitled to their own opinions because they absolutely are. But this All In card is shaping up in a way that it's just like I would have to ask you if you have a pulse if you are not excited for this All In because I don't know. We're going to talk about the matches that were announced because we do have about 4 matches announced for the card.
Mhm.
I mean, FTR versus Young Bucks. Whether you think the finish is predictable or not, which I personally actually don't think it's
I don't think so at
predictable.
all.
I don't think it's. I think it's a toss up. I really do.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would pick the Young Bucks in this situation, but I would still say it's a toss up. For those that think the FTR could lose or like will definitely lose, I think that's
I think
kind of an
FTR
interesting.
retains.
There you go.
I
Like we're
think we
split
have the
on this.
beginning of our storyline. I don't want to give it away here, but I really want to. I think I have to give away my prediction just for the sake of the show tonight. I
Right.
really think we get CM Punk somehow distracting the Bucks. Like his music plays or what something. You ever seen the video while CM Punk was not in wrestling of the guy in the hoodie that's zipped all the way up who comes to an indie wrestling show and interrupts and everybody thought it was CM Punk because of the
Yep.
shoes that he was wearing?
Yep. Yep.
So I see something like this happening with Punk maybe in a mask or something like that, and he's going to take out one of the Bucks or whatever and FTR retains, and that's our beginning of the story.
So coach, I do want you like I mean, I'm sure you're going to stick around. I don't know if maybe you're like taking care of the kid or, or the wife's coming home. I don't know. I'm hoping you're going to stick around because at the end of the show, we're going to kind of run through the card and we have, some matches announced for All In. I kind of want to take that discussion further at that point. Because again, I think that this card, what's officially announced, is shaping up to be incredible. I mean, Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole isn't official, but if we're going to get that on this card as well, like, I don't know,
that's
man.
an awesome
That's
thing for the 0 hour.
Bro, like, come on. Anyways, yeah, we'll get into the card though. I do want to talk about it later. And I'm interested to get Coach's kind of extended thoughts on what we talk about. So,
yeah.
Coach has
he says he'll be here as always. You do like that Swerve one though? I said that in Discord. Dude, Swerve and Darby versus Swerve and Fox versus Darby and Sting. That's gonna be sick too, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll talk about
the next up, we had a recap of the Hikaru Shida win, and they announced a women's tournament that will result in a 4-way for All In. Basically, they said, every time the women's championship has been defended in a major pay-per-view, it's always in a 4-way dance. So there's a little bit of a tournament going on. Rome, do you happen to have the bracket for that by any chance? I've been trying to find it here.
Why, in fact, I do.
Yes.
So, it is a tournament where the winner of each match gets into the 4-way match. Toni Storm has used her championship rematch clause to get a bye in the tournament. So she is officially in the 4-way at Wembley. So Toni Storm is the first competitor. Hikaru Shida took on Anna Jay tonight. The winner of that match, Hikaru Shida, is the champion, so she has now advanced to the 4-way as well. Friday on Rampage, Saraya will take on Sky Blue. And then next week on Dynamite, the Bunny will be returning to take on Dr. Britt Baker, DM.
Nice.
I mean, again, this is going to be awesome. Like, look, I understand people don't like Saraya. That's fine. Like, again, I'm not here to argue Saraya. But you mean to tell me that you are an AEW fan and you look at a potential 4-way dance with Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, and Dr. Britt Baker, regardless of Saraya, and you're just like what?
And you got to understand, you should immediately be like, okay, this is in Saraya's backyard. She's automatically going to be in. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, that should just be your first thought.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that. I'm just saying, if you don't like Saraya, which I know a lot of people don't, that's fine. You could still have that 4th spot be blah or meh and look at those other 3 competitors and just be like, that's going to be a really hot match in front of 80,000 plus fans. So, and I think that's the other thing people aren't thinking about, especially with this card. Like, even if you are underwhelmed by the matches, I guarantee you that this show is going to be on fire.
Oh, dude, the crowd is going to make it so good.
Right. And Coach, I don't disagree with that. But at the end of the day, like, pro wrestling isn't always, like, being predictable isn't, like, it's pro wrestling booking. Like, it's not always going to be like this unpredictable toss-up thing. And I get your point, but I think All In, and something that I really like about All In is if you kind of look at, like, the championship matches that have been announced, I mean, I kind of like the way that they've been set up, where, like, the spirit of All In is, like, betting on yourself, and it's like, it doesn't feel like a typical AEW show. I mean, obviously it's in Wembley with 80,000 people, but it's not the kind of build that I need to see, like, a blood feud going into it. I know that sounds weird, but, like, just to have, like, MJF and Adam Cole be like, no, we're going to have a match, and it's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
In front of 80,000 people. Like, I think it's all you need for Wembley.
And,
that's just my opinion.
It's kind of one of those things that Shida just won the championship and we're coming into a major pay-per-view. I think 9 times out of 10, you're going to assume whoever that champion may be is probably going to retain at this pay-per-view anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like this one match being predictable is not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, who's she going to pin? That's not predictable. Who's she going to submit or pin? That's not a predictable part of the match, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, we act like a swerve has never happened before,
Oh,
where
we could
like
be.
who knows?
Could you
Maybe
imagine?
Soraya pisses off the fan base and
Yeah.
cheats and wins.
Oh
Like,
God.
I'm just saying, like, we sit here and say that there are definites in pro wrestling, but as a podcast that makes has a lot of fun doing predictions, we've seen gimmies not be given before. So let's not sit here and act like every single predictable outcome always
So
shakes out the way we think it does, because it doesn't. That's just not how it goes.
So what if they have a
Um,
plan B here where let's say at All In that the crowd just goes absolutely ballistic for Saraya? What if they're like, okay, if that happens, we're pulling the trigger on Saraya. You know what I mean? Because
they might. They
the
might. I mean,
crowd
I don't
going
think they will,
ballistic
but
for her winning, I think could be a legit, like, I don't know. Even though the discourse would be among the fan base of like, boo, that crowd exploding like that would solidify it as still a good moment for AEW. You know what I mean?
right. Um, and so also, Nick, that is Coach Nick, that is Crash TV, my friend, that you're looking for, and that is not how you run a successful wrestling company. It's just not. It's not a productive way. It's a very Vince Russo way of looking at doing things. If you want to know how Crash booking works out, you should probably check out Dark Side of the Ring. Not this episode with Marty Jannetty, which, by the way, Marty Jannetty fucking insane. Like, the dude is making up stories about him murdering someone and still acting like it's real. And then,
Dude,
like, the police can't find any evidence, but he's like, oh, it's a wrestling storyline. I'm like, bro, you haven't wrestled in 20 years.
dude,
Anyways,
people online are like, I take back everything I said about that. Like, that's fucking funny.
Marty's insane. He's a pathological liar. I'm watching the show and I'm like, you are a liar. Your best friends on this show being interviewed are like, yeah, we don't trust a word he says.
That's wild, dude.
Anyways, if you want to see Crash booking, go watch Bash at the Beach 2000, a great episode of Dark Side of the Ring. That's what that looks like, what you're looking for. And that is
Yeah.
not a successful way to run a wrestling promotion. But I get it. You know, I get it, Coach. And I mean, that's the nice thing about these unpredictable randomness is that, like, you don't know when it's going to happen. So, yes, you are smart enough, Coach, where you can look at a wrestling storyline and be like, well, this should be the expected outcome, and that's the intention of the booking. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be swerved.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes unpredictableness unpredictable.
Yeah.
Coog asks about the attendance record for All In.
I believe last I saw they're at 78,000. They only need 3,000 more to beat the record.
Well, Jeff, number one, you are incorrect on the count because I have an updated count from WrestleTix.
Let's go.
I believe this was from about an hour ago, maybe a little bit longer. Currently, All In Sunday, August 27th, 2023 at Wembley Stadium. There are currently in available tickets 4,702 left. The current setup is set up for 84,048. Tickets distributed 79,346. They have blown past the SummerSlam 1992 European record of 79,127.
Nice, man. That's
They're gonna
fucking
break 80.
awesome.
They're going to break 80,000. They are going to set this is legitimately the biggest wrestling show in the history of professional wrestling.
So if they said there's only 2,000 left and it's set up for 84, that means that 82,000 tickets are out there and that 79,000 are paid for, right?
No, I believe what it means by set up is that's how many like seats are including distributed and non-distributed. That's how many seats are going to be there.
Yeah. I think
So
that
again,
math
like,
still adds up.
you know, again, Coach, like, look, I understand the complaint about maybe some of being a little predictable, but this is the biggest wrestling show in history. Like, we can't gloss over that. Where it's like, look, at the end of the day, Tony Khan is going to go into Wembley Stadium and his number one concern is, I am going to put on banger after banger after banger on the card. That's the intention. So
Absolutely.
in moments like this, in nights like this, again, I'm a story guy. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, the story doesn't matter. But I'm okay if the storylines go in a little bit of a predictable manner, especially considering you have a pay-per-view the following week in All Out. And that's the other crazy thing. We're not talking about All Out because we're so focused on All In, as we should be. Who knows what All Out looks like? I have no fucking idea what All Out's going to look like.
Right.
Outside of Christian Cage versus Darby, I have no idea what that pay-per-view looks like at all.
Yeah, we shall see.
Crazy.
All right, let's move on here to the next segment with Adam Cole and MJF at a trampoline park. MJF was not too thrilled. He wanted to go skinny dipping with some rats, but Adam Cole brings him to a trampoline park. Max does not seem like he's enjoying himself at all until he finds out that there's dodgeball. And Max proceeds to absolutely murder every child within throwing distance of him. A little girl comes out and asks them, what are they doing as the only adults in a trampoline park with a bunch of kids? And she calls them both some nerds. Adam Cole tries to talk to her like an adult, and she flips him off, gives him the finger. And Adam Cole says, "One more, MJF, one more." And MJF smashes her in the face with the dodgeball as well. I thought this was absolutely hilarious, dude.
I was dying.
Yeah.
I was absolutely dying.
So good.
Max is like, I fucked your mom, bro, to the little kid. Throws her the ball. And then the other kid is like, bad news, I'm your dad.
Oh, man. That was too funny.
It was so funny. Loved it.
Next up, we had a Blackpool Combat Club promo on Pac, essentially saying this is what happens when you mess with us. We put you on the shelf. Really sucks that Pac is injured again, man. He was only back for like a match and a half, and do you know what his injury is this time? They just kind of said he was injured and that was that. I don't really know what it is at all.
So, no, I don't know what the injury is. My thing is here, right? And like, I'm sure it's going to end up being best friends versus Blackpool Combat Club at Wembley. I think that's going to be the setup. However, this promo really makes me feel like Pac is going to show up at Wembley. And I wonder if the injury is a storyline.
I hope so.
Because like I'm listening to this promo, and they do say like if the best friends are smart, they're not here tonight. Mox says Eagles don't hunt flies, go birds.
Yeah.
And so like they kind of do address the best friends, but then they're kind of like, oh well, huh?
Said coach is reading your mind.
Yeah, so it's like Pac's hurt. Oh man, what a loser! Like they're going off on Pac, and also the way that the tag match ends tonight, it makes me wonder, like, is the plan BCC versus best friends, or is it BCC versus Death Triangle? Like,
yeah,
the booking would have me lead that it's gonna be the Death Triangle, but I also don't think you should keep Orange Cassidy off of this All In card. So I'm kind of at a toss-up of what they're going to do here.
I kind of went back and I looked at all the matches that Pac was in since he'd been back. It was just the Blood and Guts match, which he left, halfway through. And then he had another match afterwards. And there was nothing that showed me anything about, him being injured. You know what I mean? So I'm not too sure. I'm hoping that it is a storyline. I do hope that he is nice and healthy still and shows up at Wembley. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if because again, I don't think you should keep Orange Cassidy off this card. This dude has absolutely earned the right to be on this card. And I guess there's still a few weeks to go where you can do it, but like I wonder if they'll do like the Lucha Bros challenge BCC to a match at Wembley with a mystery partner, and then it's Pac.
That'd be too obvious though.
No, I get that, but I don't know. I don't know what you do then, because it does seem a little weird. He comes back and he's hurt, and the way that this is being booked, it makes me almost wonder if like maybe Pac is trying to get right for Wembley. Like I just don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see.
Coach, we don't even know if Zack Sabre Jr. would be available. Again, he's not a contracted AEW wrestler. Who knows? He might be wrestling for New Japan, like some commitments that weekend. You never know. I'd be down for it though. It'd be great.
That would be an awesome match.
Like we're probably like Will Ospreay's a lock because he's going to be in London that weekend because of a prior commitment. He's wrestling like 2 days earlier against who is he wrestling? It's either Shingo or Naito. I forget who it is. Anyways, he has a match like 2 days earlier in London, so of course he's there. So he's going to wrestle.
He's there. Michael Duke says he might be out of power. Oh no, dude! Save your phone battery if you have to, man. Let's go ahead and move on here to the next segment, which was the FTW Championship. Jack Perry versus Rob Van Dam. This match was freaking awesome. I had an absolute blast here. I have not seen RVD wrestle in a long time. I'll admit I haven't seen any of his indie appearances, wherever they may have been. I have not seen any of them. I was wondering how good he still was, and dude, he blew away my expectations here, man. This match kicked ass.
Yeah, it definitely did. I absolutely love this match. Obviously, the history FTW Championship, Rob Van Dam, thought it was awesome. I really love Jack Perry coming out in Jerry Lynn inspired gear. It was funny because I had shared a video today in the Discord of Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn, their pay-per-view match in '99, which fucking incredible match. Definitely recommend going to watch that match. And Jack Perry wore the exact same tights that Jerry Lynn wore in that '99 match, which was awesome. Again, it's an emotional night for me. I always love, obviously when my ECW, when ECW is respected and actually treated correctly, unlike the company that owns the rights to it, unfortunately. So to see this match be in the vein of an ECW, gets me right here.
Absolutely. There was a spot in this match that I haven't even seen some of our normal AEW talent pull off, where RVD left Jack Perry hanging on the barricade, and he pulled off that spinning leg drop from the apron of the ring and absolutely annihilated Jack Perry on the barricade. Dude, that move looked so good. I can't even imagine somebody my age or older pulling that move off. That was incredible.
Yeah, and Coach in the chat says about the match that I posted today was a great match. There's a reason why Jerry Lynn was known as I think it's, what was it, the Forgotten Legend or something like that, where it's just like, yeah, those two dudes went out on pay-per-view and they fucking killed it, man. ECW was just different.
Yeah.
It hits different. You watch these matches, it's just guys going out there and just like it's them against the world. It's just like, fuck it, like we're doing it. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna steal the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge monkey flip from RVD looked amazing. The drop kick holding the chair kind of like a skateboard. The acid drop kick, into Jack's face looked awesome as well. Man, Jack Perry taking that bump off the top rope through the table. Huge shout out to the podcast. Thank you guys very much. I wasn't expecting that to be a solo, just Jack falling off the top rope through the table, man. That was a nice spot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Looked brutal as hell too. Bryce also takes a huge ref bump here. Jack throws a chair, RVD ducks out of the way, or it could have been vice versa, I forget, but Bryce eats the chair right to the face. Of course, RVD hits a finisher, goes for the 1, 2, 3, but no ref to count. And by this time, the ref had been down for like a good 30 seconds. And I'm sitting there screaming. I'm like, where's Aubrey? Where's Aubrey? I was like, get your ass to the ring. But she does not show up until it's much too late. Jack kicks out at 2. Jack hits a nasty low blow You know, this was an FTW rules match. Anything goes. Low blow was perfectly legal. Jack takes RVD and slams him into a chair wedged into the corner of the ring, and he picks up the 1, 2, 3. A lot of people, you know, weren't happy with the finish of this, but I think this is exactly how Jack retains the championship here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely the smartest finish you can do because I don't know if they're gonna bring RVD back in. He's working WWE in next year for Mania in Philly. So whatever deal AEW has in place with Rob Van Dam, it is a short-term deal. It's not very long. I thought that the way they did this was the best possible way though, because it gives RVD, especially if this is a one-off, it gives him like his time to be like, yeah, he should have won this match. Definitely protects him. So thought it was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we had Renee Paquette backstage with the Lucha Brothers, Ray Fenix and Penta El Cero Miedo. And they essentially cut a promo on the Blackpool Combat Club for their match later in the night. And man, always love to see Penta in that Joker gear, man. That Joker gear is incredible, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's cool. My only thing is that I know he doesn't wear it all the time. I would keep it for like the most special of occasions. So I wouldn't have worn it to.
Well, that, you know, we'll get there, but I think this was a special occasion, actually. And I think this segment was meant for us to actually see him in that gear and be like, yes, I love that gear. And, you know, that plays into what happened later.
Jeff, you skipped over the Adam Cole and MJF segment.
No, that's next. In the
Oh,
ring?
never mind, because it was a Lucha Bros promo and then the Adam Cole and then the match. I thought we were on the match.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep. You know what? Do you want to take over this MJF Adam Cole segment that came up next for me?
Yeah, for sure. So Adam Cole and MJF come out. And MJF, they're in Ohio, which is the Midwest-ish. And MJF says, there's a video circulating on the internet of me saying everyone in the Midwest is mid. MJF says that is clearly heavily edited and fake, which it's not. He absolutely has said that the Midwest is mid and all the people in it are mid. MJF says, "May God strike me down right where I stand if my favorite place in the United States of America isn't the Midwest." And so he ducks down like, and then like nothing happens. And he's like, yeah. And I was just dying. Adam Cole starts speaking about what he wants to do, and MJF's like, oh, you want to have a promo battle? Completely cuts Adam Cole off, misreads the situation. MJF just cuts it deep on Adam Cole. Says you're so skinny and white, or so skinny and pale that if you were around in the 80s, Hogan would have snorted you. That was insane. He continues to kind of go on and just shit on Cole. Cole's like, I didn't want a promo battle. What are you talking about? MJF's like, my bad. I misread the room. Read the room wrong. Go! My bad. Adam Cole suggests that he and Max go after the Ring of Honor tag title. Cole puts over the Ring of Honor, the company, and the legacy of the company in general, and says that those belts are just as important to Adam Cole as the AEW World Tag Team Champion. Adam Cole asks MJF if on 0 Hour at Wembley they challenge Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor Tag Championships. MJF is disgusted by the thought of wrestling twice in one night.
He's like, what are you, some sort of pervert?
But for Adam Cole, basically agreed. And I was like, holy shit. Again, if you're not hyped for this card, this match is not officially announced. It might not actually happen. But if this match is announced and you're not excited for Wembley, like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you don't want to see Aussie Open versus Adam Cole and MJF, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
So do they win?
Well, I don't know, Coach. I guess that would be some unpredictability in your wrestling show, huh?
So man. Let's kind of, let's say they lose, right? Somehow, some way they don't pull it off. Do you think you have them kind of turn on each other there, or do they stay friends for their match later?
Oh no, for sure. I think that if they don't win, that's where they turn.
Okay.
Now, so we're sitting there, and we're in the ring, feeling good. Everyone's hype, and all we hear is Adam, Adam, and out comes Roderick Strong. And now, look, here's my thing, right? This like this storyline is so good, and unfortunately for Roddy, he's kind of taking the back seat here because in an unexpected twist of fate, Adam Cole and MJF, story of the summer, the bromance of the summer, just so hot that they couldn't break them up, which has it resulted in Roddy looking like right. And when Adam Cole turns on MJF because of Roddy, I will be upset if that is the way they go, and that'll make me hate Roddy. So I mean, I don't know if that's the way they're gonna go with it. If I was Tony Khan, the only way I could get out of this,
Coach just nailed it.
that could not, so I don't think that necessarily. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Here's what I think. The only way you can get out of this, and maybe this is why they didn't announce the ROH tag title match officially. You could say that, I mean, we've talked about it, the speculation that MJF paid Samoa Joe to injure Roddy. Right? Like, that would be, if that reveals itself, that is the one situation where it makes sense for this friendship to just implode. And for me, like, in my opinion, any other way that it goes down, I'm going to be bummed out about it. Because, like, if Adam Cole turns on MJF because of Roderick Strong, that's going to give me heat with Roddy. And I don't want heat with Roddy if Adam Cole's going to get back together. And you have to assume Kyle O'Reilly's maybe coming back sometime soon. So it's kind of this weird thing where it's like, you're going through a minefield right now. And I hope that they come out on the other end of it with everybody looking good. There are a lot of ways where this can go wrong, but I mean, there's also a few ways where I think it can go really well.
Yeah, I agree. All right. There was a really, really funny MJF mentioned Taylor Swift in his diss of Roddy. I was absolutely dying. I thought it was hilarious, dude, and the whole crowd started chanting "Shake It Off." That shit was hilarious, dude.
He said, he's like, I want you to do what generic white guys do. I want you to get in your car. I want you to go home. I want you to run upstairs, slam the door, bury your face in your Hello Kitty pillow, cry about it, listen to Taylor Swift, and shake it off, you bland bitch.
Oh, it was so good. Everybody started chanting "Shake It Off." I was dying.
Oh,
Finally gave me a reason to use this
MJF
button.
just completely tears Roddy a new one, and it's like, I don't want Roddy to be the reason this team breaks up, because Roddy's coming off like a geek right now.
Oh, he sure is, but he's gonna be the villain in this story.
I don't like that.
All right, let's see here. So, Cole poked MJF a little too hard in the chest. MJF looked a little angry. Adam Cole was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He apologized, and they hug it out once more. And that's the end of that one. Next up, we had a nice little recap of Collision. And then it was time for Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, the Blackpool Combat Club, versus the Lucha Brothers. And man, the Lucha Brothers using their entrance to attack from behind, coming out at 100 miles an hour before the bell. I loved this match, dude. I love every Lucha Brothers match, but this match was freaking awesome.
Yeah, excellent match. Really enjoyed it. One critique that I will say is the ending of the match. So, we could discuss the match a little bit more if you want, and I'll get into it at the end.
Yeah.
But I have one issue with the match. It was at the end.
Yeah, I think it's the same one that most of us probably had here, but I thought the match was pretty good. There was a really, really cool spot where Rey Fenix was up on Claudio's shoulders, and Moxley went for the Doomsday Device, and Rey Fenix did the Matrix, bending backwards while on Claudio's shoulders. That shit looked so cool. Huge chop battle between Moxley and Penta was a really nice spot also. Fenix with a huge moonsault off the top rope to the outside, taking out Wheeler Yuta, who was assaulting Jose Abrahantes. Overall, this was a decent match, but it got a little bit sloppy there at the end, like you said, where we didn't even get to see Claudio rip the mask off of Penta. And I'm not even sure what happened at the finish there. Did you catch exactly what happened? Because I'm sure this is what your problem was, right?
So I actually have two problems because you bringing that up actually made me think about it, and I agree with that. I think that the camera angle here was kind of weird.
Yeah.
They tried to do like a bang bang camera cut, and it just didn't time out correctly. Which again on a 7-second delay, I don't know if that's acceptable. But yeah. So Claudio grabs the mask off of Penta, which leads to Mox rolling up Penta and Mox winning.
That's right.
Because
Yep.
when you remove the mask of Penta, it is a guaranteed loss for Penta.
He just covers his
Oh.
face and doesn't do anything else.
He dies. He, for all intents and purposes, drops dead. Which,
Yeah.
culture based, I get it. Totally. Here's where I have a problem. Is that this is a spot that, number one, they only do with Penta.
Yeah.
And number two, they, like, I don't know, like, they never follow up on it. You know what I mean? Like, anytime that a heel uses this against Penta, it happens, and then it's like, oh shucks. Like, there's never a follow-up, I feel like. And
So
I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but, like, I don't know. Like, Penta, man, you need to start tying your mask a little tighter. Because,
Yeah.
like, if you are going to legitimately die, if it is an automatic L the second someone removes your mask, number one, why is everybody facing you every single week not trying to remove your mask? Who are heels, by the way? Because I understand it's a dastardly thing to do.
yeah.
But, like, why is every heel not doing this? And then, or, like, number two, like, why have you not tightened your mask yet? If, like, you have lost high-profile matches. Again, we're talking in kayfabe, of course. You've lost high-profile matches because somebody pulls your mask off your face. Like, oh, I don't know. You should probably look at what every other luchador is doing and, like, why they don't have these issues as much. And I'm sure Coog will probably jump in and be like, this happens all the time in Mexico. And maybe it does. I don't know. I'm a
Coach,
stupid American.
that didn't happen,
But-
Coach. That didn't happen. You're
Coach
lying.
said, yeah, I was cooking on the grill. And my wife was like, his mask is coming off now. I shouted. Must be Penta, huh?
But I do
Yeah.
agree, like, you know, if the mask is just gonna be the death of you, like, you gotta come up with something. It's just they do this with Penta all the time, and you know, it looked like Claudio stole the mask, right? So he put the mask on and he did some funny poses with the mask. People are it's all over Twitter right now, like, name this luchador, wrong answers only, you know what I mean? It's actually pretty funny. But he took it with him, and I'm like, okay, we just got done with a stolen mask story on Collision with Andrade. So, like, if you guys are gonna steal another mask and have another ladder, you know, mask on a ladder match, I'm not down with it. But let's see.
So,
All
so
right,
Coog,
I believe you, Coach. I believe you.
So Coog literally just laid out exactly what I mean when I say there's no follow up. That's a great idea. It's like they should do it where, like, the next week the heel goes to do it and he pulls off Penta's mask and there's another Penta mask under, like, something like that. Like, we got to do something where it's not like a give me. It can't be a gimme, because then otherwise all the heels should be doing it.
He says it's actually rare in Mexico.
Well, then there you go. That's even worse.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes, though. You know, I completely agree that, you know,
I mean, again, like, it seems like it's setting up for Wembley for BCC versus Lucha Bros.
Yeah.
Or Death Triangle in a trios match.
that would be funny
I-
for them to pull his mask off and for another one to be on there, down there, and him smile all crazy. That'd be funny.
I don't know. It's definitely just something to think about.
Next up, we had Kenny Omega walking backstage with his luggage, and he was being asked about Wembley Stadium. And my first thought was, why is Kenny here? Just to be in this interview?
Well, Kenny's an EVP.
True. Okay.
He has backstage roles, Jeff. He's
That
not
that
just
is
a rep.
true. All right, I'll give it a pass for that. But I thought it was hilarious. My first thought was like, is he here only to be seen with his bag of luggage?
No, he's an EVP.
Nope, that's fine. Next up, we had the Mogul Embassy, AR Fox, Swerve Strickland, and what are the other guys called again?
Gates of
The
Agony.
Gates of Agony. Man, this group just looks menacing. They look great on TV. Absolutely love these guys. Take it away, Rum.
Prince Nana and the Mogul Embassy forever. So Prince Nana comes out doing his dance. Love Prince Nana. If you told me 10 years ago, or I guess at this point 11 or 12 years ago, when I was going to the Ring of Honor show and I'm cheering for Prince Nana in the crowd in the ECW arena, if you told me like, hey, this guy's going to be on every single episode of wrestling you watch every single week, I would have been like, let's do it. Let's go. But here he is. Prince Nana comes out. He tells the mouth breathers in Ohio. Ohio, by the way, 4th or 5th least favorites. I also fucking hate Ohio. Like, not as much as I hate New Jersey. I just think Ohio is like, ooh, like it's just, I don't know, it's not good. Like, it's like New Jersey is a root canal, right? Like they're all like the pain, the misery of all that. Ohio is like you have a cavity that has to get drilled out. So like it sucks. Like it's not good. It's not New Jersey bad, but like it's Ohio. Anyways, Prince Nana tells the mouth breathers of Ohio, when the Mogul Embassy comes out, you shut your mouth. He's correct. They call out Darby Allin. Darby comes out, and Darby says that AR Fox is wrong. He says that he always called AR Fox, but AR Fox never answered, and he has nothing but the utmost respect for him. No matter what he does, he will never disrespect AR Fox. However, Darby also has friends. Lights go out. Tony Schiavone acting like he doesn't know who this is.
Yeah.
And I get the Schiavone bit is like, it's Sting, and I get it. I do get it. However, I'm like, okay, Schiavone, we get it. Like, Tony, how do you not know who this is? He's like, what? The lights are on. Oh, guys, what's happening? And I'm like, Schiavone, stop. Stop. Lights come back on. Sting, Joker Sting, technically, because he had the little red.
Joker Sting, baby. Let's go.
Joker Sting comes out, and they clear house. Darby goes to chase AR Fox, and Prince Nana, being the hero and the soldier that he is for the Mogul Embassy, grabs Darby's leg and does not allow Darby to pursue AR Fox. However, Sting is in the ring with Swerve, and what we get out of this is an absolutely insane and really cool interaction where you would think that Swerve has a loaded magnum pointed at his chest, but it's the bat. And Swerve's like, man, you don't want to do this today. You don't want to do this today. And what does Sting do? Points at the Wembley sign. And like, look, I get the trope. It is what it is. But this was rad. This was sick as hell. And I absolutely loved it.
Dude, it was awesome.
Never forget that the Fed really brought Sting into WrestleMania the one year to have him job out to the Banana Nose Circus. Never forget that. And I'm sure that when Sting goes out there at Wembley,
dude,
like,
the crazy part of that, every single match, and I mean every single match that Sting has had in AEW is better than that match.
Well, that match will always for me be like such a cardinal sin, and like because I'm not I wasn't a WCW kid, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I was something that I wasn't. Like I didn't watch WCW.
I did.
Didn't.
I was a WCW kid. Yeah,
I know, and like, but I went back and watched WCW like once, like WWE 24/7 was around. They used to have this thing called the Monday Night Wars where it was really cool actually.
Yeah.
They would show you that week's episode of Nitro and then that week's episode of Raw back to back. So you could kind of like sit there, watch both episodes and be like, I thought this show was better or this show was better.
That'd be cool.
So that was my WCW experience. That was how I saw WCW. But so I'm not going to sit here and act like I ever watched WCW as a kid. But that match at WrestleMania, if that is not the most pointless, showing how big your dick is thing, I don't know what is. Because it's literally just Triple H and Vince saying, like, let's just shit on WCW 20 years after we bought them. Or like 50, whatever it was, 18 years after we bought them. It's like, that's kind of weird and unnecessary. It's like, yeah, we're going to bury the NWO. We're going to bury Sting. DX and Triple H are going to stand tall. It's just like, that's kind of lame. Actually, you know what? That's really lame.
But like I said, every Sting match has been better. So his run in AEW has been absolutely fantastic, giving him the end of his career that he wants, letting him go out the way he wants to. Absolutely awesome. The way he pointed to the All In sign, I was like, oh shit! I'm absolutely no pun intended. I am all in for that match.
Again, if you're not excited for this card, for this show.
Yeah, and that's not a predictable match. Swerve and AR Fox could easily win that, you know?
Man, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. If you're looking at this all-in card and you're like, it's mid. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, now I got to sit up in my chair because it was time for the main event for the second week in a row of AEW Dynamite. The AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida, your defending champion, versus Anna Jay, formerly of the JAS, Jericho Appreciation Society. Hikaru Shida's first title defense in front of fans. Dude, this was an awesome match. Anna Jay had 2.0, Matt Menard and Angelo Parker ringside, casting distraction the entire time as well. Dude, this match was awesome. Anna Jay looked very, very good. Hikaru Shida looked as good as always, and she finally got to defend that belt in front of the fans, man. I loved every minute of this.
Again, special night. Special night.
Yeah, absolutely. Great match with these ladies. Anna Jay locked in the Queen Slayer. Her rear naked choke finisher. Shida climbed to her feet, climbed the ropes with Anna Jay on her back, jumped backwards off the ropes and smashed her down to the mat. That was an awesome spot. She only gets a 2 count from that, but Hikaru Shida gets up and delivers a katana straight to Anna Jay's face. During the pin here, it looked like Angelo Parker was trying to pull her out of the ring, but I kind of just took it as him grabbing her wrist and being like, kick out, kick out. And Anna Jay did not kick out. Hikaru Shida picks up the 1, 2, 3. And she is still your AEW Women's World Champion, and she will go to Wembley, and she'll be part of that 4-way along with Toni Storm and 2 other ladies. We'll find out, over the course of this week. What did you think of the ending there? Did you have any issue with that, or?
I did actually. Again, going back to the tag thing from earlier, I don't have an issue with that spot because in the rules of the match, I don't think there's an issue with it. However, in this match, Angelo Parker is not part of the match, so I have several questions. Number 1, what is Angelo Parker doing there? It's not subtle at all what he's trying to do.
No.
Number 2, the referee doesn't stop counting the pin, which theoretically I think he should. Number 3,
why should he stop counting?
Well, because Angelo Parker grabbed her shoulder and lifted it off the mat. So it's number 1, it's interference. Number 2, her shoulder is literally not on the mat.
I didn't see her shoulder come up. I only saw him grab her by the wrist.
He grabs her by the wrist and lifts her up, and when she does that, it's like that.
Huh.
Yeah, just briefly, not for a second. But again, I don't know. It was weird. It was was there a plan here? Was Angelo supposed to kind of be there late? In which case, why was the pin done where it was? And should Angelo have not followed up with it and not done it if it wasn't gonna look right? I don't know. I have several mini questions which lead to one bigger question of what the fuck was that?
So what it looked like to me is the finish, is the pin was supposed to be farther away from Angelo. So I think he was just supposed to reach into the ring and not be able to reach anything. You know what I mean? But they were so close that he was just like, I have to touch her if I'm this close. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah.
It didn't bother me that much. I was actually glad that the ref continued his count and just counted
Oh,
3 and then looked at
yeah.
Parker like, "What were you doing, bro?" You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that was the better thing to do there. But
I agree.
yeah. But again, 2 weeks in a row, Hikaru Shida main eventing Dynamite. Absolutely loved this, man.
Wait,
You know,
but Jeff, I thought it was the Divas era.
no,
No?
not at all.
I could have sworn that the Divas era was
There is
and like
nothing about AEW that says Divas era whatsoever.
Hmm,
This is as
interesting.
far from the Divas era as you can possibly get, as far as I'm concerned. And if you really want to talk about the Divas era, I really believe the E is headed back towards that. You know what I mean? Look who
Mhm,
they're pushing as their right now. So, you know,
mhm.
it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I thought this was a decent episode of Dynamite. You know, now that we've gotten to the end of this, I think I'm going to upgrade from like a 7 to a 7.5, maybe even an 8. This was a good episode, a lot to like here. Very little to dislike, except for a couple of weird spots throughout the night that honestly, like the ref having a bad night in the Bucks match, I think that's what that chalked up to be. Maybe Rick Knox was just having a bad night or something. You know, I'm not going to let a ref ruin a match for me. Um, and you know, like you said, a lot to like here tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so what do we have lined up for Rampage?
All right, coming up this Friday on Rampage, Darby Allin will be taking on Brian Cage. Saraya will be taking on Sky Blue, with the winner going to All In Wembley. The AEW International Championship will be on the line. Orange Cassidy will defend his title against Johnny TV. On Collision, we have the Trios Championship, the House of Black defending against CMFTR. The Acclaimed will return to tag team action. Mercedes Martinez and Diamante will be taking on Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Next week on Dynamite, MJF and Adam Cole will talk about the main event of All In. Kenny Omega will have a sit-down interview on Dynamite with JR. The Bunny will be taking on Dr. Britt Baker DMD, with winner going to All In. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne will be facing the Gates of Agony, with more Dynamite matches to be announced on Rampage. Coming up on All In, August 27th, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, MJF versus Adam Cole. The AEW World Tag Team Championship, FTR versus the Young Bucks 3, the rubber match. Sting and Darby Allin will be taking on Swerve Strickland and AR Fox in a coffin match. Tag team coffin match.
Yeah, that's cool.
Uh,
I can't wait for that coffin match, actually.
Again, no pulse. Don't know what to tell you. You might as well be in a coffin. Four-way match for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm has already qualified for the match, as has Hikaru Shida, leading to be either Saraya or Sky Blue, most likely Saraya, or Dr. Britt Baker DMD or the Bunny, again, most likely Dr. Britt Baker DMD, in a four-way dance.
Good stuff, man. I can't wait. We got a good couple of weeks coming of AEW, man.
Coach is going to have to look back on the last 2 minutes. I would say it's worth him going back.
Yeah, no big deal. You got anything you want to add to the show tonight, man?
No, that's pretty much it. All In's going to pass and probably pass 80,000 sometime in the next like week or two. I think that's
Yeah.
exciting. Very exciting. We're about 700 away, so yep.
All right. Well, we shall see. Go Phils.
Go Bills.
Want to go ahead and close this out?
This has been episode 163 of the Broken Tables podcast. Thank you to everyone hanging out with us here tonight. Thank you to the coach, Coog, Michael Duke, everyone else. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, coach, go back and listen to the last 2 minutes of the podcast. Make sure you like the video and subscribe on your way out. Become a member. Get the really cool arcade cabinet badge along with the really awesome AEW emojis. We got the CM Punk, got the Adam Cole Bebe, the Acclaimed, and Orange Cassidy. Become a member for $5. It's just $5. You know? Get some really sick emojis. I wish I had those. I don't have those. Look at those cool emojis. Bam.
You
Anyways,
can gift each other as well. That's, to me, I think that's the coolest thing, would be for you guys to gift each other some memberships. That'd be cool.
that would be pretty cool. So yeah, go ahead and do that. You know, it helps us out a lot. You know, so we can improve the channel, make the show better for you guys. Other than that, you can follow us on our social medias. You can follow us on Twitter, not X, not Twitter, the place where you repost things. But if you go to unrepost it, you have to unretweet it. But it's X. But I don't know. It's Twitter. Anyways, if you like video games, we will be back on for the Game Room podcast. We also have our Collision review, which may have to be Sunday, which we'll talk about, Jeff. But yeah, till next time, we will catch you guys later.
All right, we will catch you guys next time. But until then, top guys out.